Kamala Harris has just selected Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz to be her running mate in the 2024 presidential election. Dripping with Midwestern charisma, Walz is a veteran of the Army National Guard, a seasoned lawmaker who spent 12 years in the House of Representatives, and he's currently the governor of a swing state. He's seemingly the perfect candidate, but Republicans are banking on using Walz's ties to China to paint the Harris campaign as socialist.
I don't fall into the category that China necessarily needs to be an adversarial relationship.
So, is Walz soft on China? Here are the facts. Tim Walz has a long history of engagement with China. Just after graduating from college in 1989, Walz moved to China for a year with the World Teach program. He taught high school English as well as classes on American history and culture at the elite Foshan School in Guangdong province, just north of Hong Kong. Why did Walz go to China? From a 2007 interview with The Hill, China was coming, and that's the reason I went. His students nicknamed him Fields of China because his kindness was as big as the fields of China. They also called him Big-Nosed One and Foreign Devil, affectionately, of course. Walz arrived in China just months after the Tiananmen Square massacre. Many of his peers had changed their minds about moving to China after seeing what happened on June 4th.
It felt like freedom was sweeping the world. Waking up and seeing the news on June 4th that the unthinkable had happened, I felt it was more important than ever to go, to make sure that story was told and to let the Chinese people know we were standing there, we were with them.
Walz feels the Chinese have been mistreated and cheated by their government for years. If they had the proper leadership, there are no limits on what they could accomplish. They are such kind, generous, capable people. They just gave and gave and gave to me. Going there was one of the best things I have ever done. Walz and his wife honeymooned in China after getting married on the 5th anniversary of Tiananmen Square. Why? According to his wife, he wanted a date he would always remember. During his years as a teacher in the US, he ran a summer exchange program with his wife, bringing dozens of students to China every summer for 2 decades. Here's the thing. It's predictable for Republicans to cry socialism in response to Walz's free lunch program and other initiatives he spearheaded as governor. But Walz is not soft on China's Communist Party in any foreign policy sense. Walz is a veteran of the Army National Guard and served abroad in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. He is the highest-ranking enlisted soldier to ever serve in Congress. In 2016, he joined with Republicans to oppose a drawdown of military spending, specifically citing China as a national security concern.
Since the time this plan was written and put into effect, the rise of ISIS, China has built a new island in the South China Sea and is landing aircrafts on it now, and a belligerent Russia.
During his time in Congress, Walz served on the Congressional-Executive Commission on China. This is a watchdog organization exclusively focused on documenting human rights abuses in China. He was part of the delegation who traveled to Beijing, Hong Kong, and Tibet, and offered the following remarks in 2016. While Chinese investments have undoubtedly helped to modernize Tibet, these investments must not come at the expense of the rich cultural, linguistic, and religious heritage of the Tibetan people. The US was founded on the idea of universal freedom, and I believe that we must continue to urge the Chinese government to provide less regulated religious freedom to the Tibetans. Improvements in the quality of life, access to clean water, and access to healthcare services in Tibet must also include efforts to preserve the Tibetan way of life. In 2006, Chinese authorities arrested dissident lawyer Chen Guangcheng. His crime? Filing a class action lawsuit against local officials who allegedly forced abortions and sterilizations on people who violated the one-child policy. Here's what Walz said during the Commission's investigation in 2011. I know China has announced notable reforms and advancements in recent years. I applaud the accomplishments of the Chinese people and recognize that some in the Chinese government advocate for greater rule of law. But we cannot believe that China is serious about the rule of law while Chen Guangcheng and his family are being forcefully held and abused. We cannot believe China is serious about human rights while it flagrantly violates its own laws and international human rights commitments. Remember, this was during the Obama years, an era of increased cooperation, engagement, and trade with China. Still, Walz was unafraid to make his opinions clear. While Congress has limited means to influence foreign policy, Walz co-sponsored a slew of resolutions expressing opinions about China's human rights record. These include the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act of 2017, a resolution in support of releasing activist Liu Xiaobo from prison, and another resolution after Liu's death honoring his life and legacy. A resolution for the 20th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre, which called for an investigation into the treatment of imprisoned protesters, a resolution expressing support for the Chinese human rights activists Huang Qi and Tan Zuoren, who were criminally prosecuted for criticizing the Chinese government's response to the 2008 earthquake in Sichuan. And finally, a resolution expressing concern about reports of state-sanctioned organ harvesting from prisoners in China, which is concerning. His legislative record includes positive engagement initiatives, too. He co-sponsored a bill to award a Congressional Gold Medal to Chinese-American World War II veterans, a bill to ease restrictions on highly skilled immigration from the PRC, and a resolution to dedicate a postage stamp to Chinese railroad workers. As tensions with China continue to intensify, Walz's Midwestern charm could be an asset to diplomacy in the Far East. He consistently wishes his constituents a happy Chinese New Year, in Cantonese no less.
Happy Year of the Dragon. I'm wishing you a peaceful holiday full of good food and quality time with family and friends. Like the dragon, I'm also wishing you an abundance of strength, wisdom, and prosperity in the new year. Gong hei fa zui.
If you've met Tim Walz or were a student who went on one of his trips to China, we'd love to hear from you. Check the pinned comment for details on how to share your story, on or off the record. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
If someone tells you they're an expert on China, they're probably not telling you the truth because it's a complex country.